Hi and welcome to day 17 of the Dry Jam Plan. Today I want to talk about alcohol and relaxation. I turned to booze at the end of the day because I believed it relaxed me and de-stressed me, and it was the only thing that I could use that hit the spot, and I did that for years. But it was really interesting when I started looking into what alcohol actually does to your body and your brain. I was amazed. Now, I'm no neuroscientist. I've got a basic understanding of the central nervous system and the neurotransmitters and all the chemicals. Very basic, I might add. But what I understand is neurotransmitters, which are like the messages in your brain that are sent to the neurons. Now, there's two that I'm going to talk about today. One's called GABA and the other one's called glutamate. Now, GABA is like the off switch and glutamate is like the on switch. So GABA it decreases our activity. So it slows our brain down, which is why we like the effects of alcohol, because it gives us, and there's no doubt about it, it does give us that calming effect. But what that does is that unbalances the homeostasis, that our body is fine-tuned with all these chemicals. And what that does is it affects glutamate. Now, glutamate is slowed down. The release of it is slowed down in our brain, and it actually contributes to an overall depressive effect on our central nervous system. So you've got GABA slowing us down, you've got glutamate that's actually having a depressive effect, which research has shown that alcohol is a depressant as well as a stimulant. So when you take a drink, you get that calmness to start with, but then you also get that low mood that can come with it. Then we have lots of other chemicals in the mix, such as serotonin and dopamine and cortisol. So we're all unbalanced and we can feel a bit anxious after we've been drinking for a little while, and certainly the following day, and definitely when you wake up at 3-4 a.m. in the morning after you've been drinking and you've stopped drinking, when your chemicals in your body are all out of whack. The thing is with GABA, it's really interesting because it gives us that calming effect, but it depresses again our central nervous system. But over time, our GABA receptors actually decrease, which means to get that calming effect of the alcohol, we need more of it. And that's where tolerance comes in. We find that a couple of glasses doesn't hit the spot anymore. So we end up having another glass, and then we might have a couple of bottles, or a bottle and a half in my case, with a couple of beers, which I used to have before I started on the wine. But the interesting thing I noticed was when I came home from work and reached for that glass in the cupboard and that bottle of beer or that bottle of wine, I started to de-stress and relax before I'd even had a drink. Our thought processes are so important and so have such a massive effect on how we're feeling and our emotions that even by thinking about having a drink, I affected the GABA in my brain. That's why mindfulness is so good for us. That's why getting out in nature and exercising, all these chemicals and all these neurotransmitters and all this wonderful stuff that goes off in our brain wants to keep us in a good balance of homeostasis. So my challenge to you is think before you pick that glass up if you are feeling really stressed, don't just go on autopilot. Don't just go and grab that glass and that bottle and pour yourself a drink. Actually notice before you pour that drink and actually taste it as to what's happening in your body. Because I was amazed that my thought processes could have such an impact on how I was feeling. So that's my challenge for you today. Whether you're drinking or not, whether you're going back to drinking in February, just be aware and just notice things. So that's me for today, and I'll catch you again tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.